present from me to show that I care, a gift of love that I want to share. Giving a gift can simply be a thoughtful deed that comes from me. It needn't be fancy or cost a lot. What's most important is the thought. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share.
Hi everybody, welcome to Treasure Time. I have some wonderful kids here with me today who are going to help me tell a Native American story about animals who gave something away, each of them, to the humans who came to inhabit America. I have with me
Hi, I'm Corinne.
Hi, I'm Hadley.
I'm Gideon Drury.
I'm Kira.
I'm Elijah. I'm Nate.
and we're going to sing the treasure song. This song is about all of you. Reading together with someone special is a time we treasure, but you guys are also treasures. You are a treasure, you are a gem, you are a special sparkle of light. You shine in your glory, you tell your own story. You are precious, you are unique. And now we'll sing saying I am a treasure, I am a gem. I am a special sparkle of light. I shine in my glory. I tell my own story. I am precious. I am unique. And Nate, I'm going to give this guitar to you. And now I am going to read to you a Native American story called The Giveaway by Ray Buckley. And this story is, I want you all to think carefully about this story. It's just a little bit different. Among the Northern Plains tribes.
Lee, just stop right here, and what we want to do is start, you're going to read the story again, because the guitar was being dropped and it made an awful lot of noise.
Okay, so,
Start reading
Can I
the
ask
story
you
again.
something?
okay,
Start from picking the storybook.
okay, all right.
I have to ask her something. What is it?
Today I'm going to read a Native American Indian story to you called The Great Giveaway. And I want you all to think carefully about what this story says. Among the Northern Plains tribes, all of creation, animals, birds, insects, and plants, are part of the sacred hoop. The Lakota expression is a mataki, literally all my relations,
Yeah, I know.
is an important theological
Let's get that picture.
concept. There was a grove of trees where the forest grew thick. The trees had stood there for as long as anyone could remember. Their roots intertwined so that nothing could affect one without affecting them all. They were known to the inhabitants of the forest, the four-leggeds, and those who fly as the old ones. In the middle of the old ones stood the oldest of them all, taller and broader than the others. If one stood beneath it, one could not see where its crown touched father sky. and smaller trees grew around its roots in the safety of its vastness. It was called the Ancient One, for it had known the Creator longest of all. It was to this grove that the creatures of the forests and the plains, the four-leggeds and those who fly, gathered for council. Each had sent one speaker, the oldest and wisest of its kind. Snow fell thick on familiar paths, and each arrived in silence, waiting with the patience of those who have seen much. When the circle was complete, they stood listening to their hearts. They have lost their way, Whooping Crane said. There is no pattern to their journey. Snow Goose nodded in agreement. They have lost their purpose, Deer Mouse said softly. They do not gather seeds. They do not know who they are. Tatanka the bull buffalo dropped his head low. They take more than they need and give nothing back. They do not give away. They do not see long distance, Eagle began. They keep more than they can eat. While some are hungry, they no longer know that they are connected. They do not know that they are beautiful, Fox said sadly, her white coat blending with the snow. They decorate themselves with stones and hide their spirits. They think that power is what they can hold on to, Old Beaver pondered. They say, this is mine, and build lodges too large so that they themselves will appear big. They must make others small so that they will look big, Bear's deep voice answered. In the end, they must destroy themselves or others. They have lost their names and do not know who they are. Grandmother Turtle, who was the last to arrive, made her way slowly to the center of the council. She lifted her head so she could see all who gathered beneath the old ones. Her voice was barely audible. We must give away ourselves to them. We must speak to them in soft voices. We must remind them of who they are. She paused, lowering her head into her shell. Then suddenly she lifted her head as high as her neck would allow. I will give them my shell, she said with certainty. I will come with no protection, and they can use my shell to adorn themselves. Around the circle, the council was silent. The wind did not blow through the trees. Not a single branch on the old ones fluttered. The forest was still as Grandmother Turtle began her walk to the empty spot in the circle. I will teach them the patterns of life, Snow Goose said, and I will remind them of the seasons. I will teach them to gather seeds so that no one need be hungry, Deer Mouse began. I will give them what I have stored. Eagle searched the night sky and without lowering her head said, I will give them my feathers. Perhaps if I cannot fly, they will feel small. Tatanka the bull buffalo stood with his legs squarely on the earth. I will give them my flesh to sustain them and my skin to warm them. I will give myself away. Each council member in turn rose to speak of the gift, that most costly portion of themselves that each would give away. When the circle was complete, a new voice was heard. In the shadow of the Ancient One stood the Creator. "Oh, children," the Creator began softly, You will give yourselves away, but they will not know that. They will say, 'See what I have taken,' and think that they have made themselves larger." For a moment the Creator paused. "It is I who must give myself away. I must give away my protection and come vulnerable to their lodges. I must choose to become small so that they can choose to know me large. I must give away my name so that they can know their names." And here is the big ancient tree that they're under. This is the ancient one. The ancient one had stood silent. The sound of his voice had not been heard in many winters. "Creator, how can this be? How can the great mystery become small?" The Creator stood beneath the ancient one. The shadow of the tree became light, and the grove of the old ones became full of the presence of the Creator. "A baby will be born. He will be the son of the great mystery. He will be born not where the two-leggeds are gathered, but among the four-leggeds and those who fly. He will bring light into confusion. He will bring hope into despair. He will bring love, and his name will be great." The ancient one began to tremble, and those who fly left its old branches. The grove of the old ones moved in a quake. "Creator, what can I, whose name speaks only of my age, give to the great mystery became baby? What can I do from my grove in the forest?" The Creator turned toward the ancient one. The voice of the Creator was low. "You will be his support. You will be his place of rest. You will hold his body. You will hold him up in the beginning and in the end." And the ancient one wept, partly for joy and partly for sorrow. And that is the story that you guys are going to be acting out. But what do you think about this story? What seems unusual, or what puzzles you about this story?
Well, the thing that puzzles me is that I don't understand why the Creator would give up being a big part of everything just so that people could choose to know him as a bigger person.
Why he would give part of himself away? That's really a good question, Corinne. And the Native American people, they were very generous people, and even though the English came to take their land, they were still kind and they were still giving, and this story is kind of about that. And it seems somebody had to give themselves away, so the Creator did. But what about the animals? What did the animals do? Kira.
Well, they said that they give away a lot of what they really needed.
Yes, they gave what they really needed, and then they wouldn't be themselves. They probably would die, and that really doesn't work very well, does it?
No.
What do you think, Hadley?
I just think it's kind of weird how the baby was born with just the nature and the animals without a mother or a father or anything.
Just in the woods. And this is something that, again, the Native Americans, they wanted this story. They wanted a baby to be in the forest just with the animals. And this is just part of this story, but it really wouldn't work very well in real life. A baby kind of needs a human mother and father. Elijah, do you have any ideas about this story?
How do the animals talk?
It's very interesting that the animals talk. The animals are like people in this story, aren't they? And they're kind of in charge of the earth. Who thinks that animals can have a, do you think animals have a language where they can talk to each other?
Probably because like dogs
Maybe.
bark and they make different noises.
Yeah. And Nate, what do you think about this story?
I don't know why the animals were so eager to give themselves away.
That's interesting too, because I guess they were so discouraged about the state of the world that they felt they had to do something to make it better. But giving themselves away wasn't really the answer. Gideon, do you have any ideas?
Why would the animals, like, the buffalo was gonna give himself away, like it'd give him his flesh away.
And then he would be gone, and that is kind of what happened out west when the pioneers came. Sometimes they let all the buffaloes stampede and die, and then we had to start breeding buffaloes again. So the white man was not really very kind when he came to this country, and he didn't really care about the earth. And I think this story is a little bit about that too. I thank you all for being here today, and now we're going to see a play about this story, and these guys are going to be in it. The four-leggeds are gathered for a meeting near a big old tree, which is surrounded by other trees. The snow goose speaks.
They have lost the way. They have no pattern to their journey.
Dear mouse.
They have lost their
Purpose.
They do not gather seeds. They do not know who they are.
Buffalo.
They take more than they need. And they give nothing back. They do not give away.
Eagle.
They do not see long distance. They keep more than they can eat while some are hungry. They no longer know that they are connected.
Fox.
They do not know that they are beautiful. They decorate themselves with stones and hide their spirits.
Beaver.
They think power is what they can hold on to. They say, this is mine, and build lodges too large so they themselves will appear big.
Bear.
They must make others small so that they will look big. In the end, they must destroy themselves or others. They have lost their names and do not know who they are.
We must speak to them in soft voices. We must remind them who they are. I will give them my shell. I will come to them with no protection, and they can use my shell to adorn themselves.
Snow goose. I will teach them.
I will teach them the pattern of life and remind them of the seasons.
Dear mouse.
I will teach them to gather seeds so no one need be hungry. I will
Eagle.
give them what I've stored.
I will give them my feathers. Perhaps if I cannot fly, they will not feel small.
Buffalo.
I will give them my flesh to sustain with them. I will give them my skin to warm them. I will give myself away.
Fox.
I will give them my bushy tail so they can wrap it around their necks for beauty and warmth.
Beaver.
I will cut trees for them so that they can build houses.
Bear.
I will lend them my great strength and my thick fur so that they will feel large again and remember who they are.
Okay, now. Here, come on.
Oh, children, you will give yourselves away, but they will not know that. They will say, see what I have taken, and make themselves larger. It is I who must give myself away. I must give away my protection, and come vulnerable to their lodges. I must choose to become small so they can choose to know me large. I must give away my name so that they can know their names.
Creator, how can this be? How can the great mystery become small?
A baby is, go ahead, Creator.
A baby is born. He will be the son of the great mystery. He will be born not where the two-legged stand, but among the four-leggeds and those who fly. He will bring light into confusion. He will bring hope into despair. He will bring love, and his name will be great.
Creator, what can I, whose name speaks only of my age, give away to the great mystery become baby?
You will be his place of support and his place of rest. You will hold his body in the beginning and in the end.
A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. Giving a gift can simply be a thoughtful deed that comes from me. It needn't be fancy or cost a lot. What's most important is the thought. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. All that we do or think or say is meaningful in a giving way. An act of kindness, a thoughtful phrase brings joy to another and brightens their days. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share. That which is made by our very own hand. It needn't be flashy, it needn't be grand. With the effort we do impart, the best gift of all comes from the heart. A present from me to show that I care. A gift of love that I want to share.
And we hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas season. And be sure to give a gift, and you will receive many rewards in return.
A present from me